Hey, Jeannie Lynch, coming back to you today. Thank you. So excited to share my next guest with you. Immersed with Megan right now, talking about intuitive writing. And in fact, she calls it conscious content. What does that mean? Can't the world be a little bit more conscious right now and the world would be a better place? Well, she takes the conscious aspect of it to your creating, to your writing. And I believe, I hope you do too, that absolutely everybody out there has a story in them. And sometimes we just need help crafting the words. Maybe you don't think you're a creative person, right? And you think it takes a creative to write your story. So not true. Well, Megan dispels some of those beliefs and some of those myths out there and helps you organize your thoughts and gets you in the right space so that you can tell your story. So whether you're a business entrepreneur, you're creating content for social media, writing a blog, a website, doesn't matter, social media, or you have a really important story or modality you want to share with the world, Megan is your girl. She's going to take us through her tips of her trade and share with you how she inspires others to write their story. She helped me when we did Cage No More, could not have done it without her, and her process was so easy to follow. So please stay listening. If you have a story in you, I suggest you stay. This interview, it's coming up next. Megan, yay! So happy that you're here today and that we get to connect. And I did a little layup and we've been talking a little bit online. I'm so excited to share you. And we were joking before we came on today that we already know each other. And thank God for social media. And I hate to say thanks for COVID because no one's going to say that. But COVID really did allow a lot of us practitioners to work online. And so we'll get into how we know each other because that's your story today. So excited to share your modality. So as part of our spiritual modalities for a spiritual life playlist on my channel, we met through writing. And you have this whole intuitive, helpful writing practice that you do with practitioners or people out there. And I got to know you through Sanctuary Publishing, and these are some of the books that Annette Maria has done, and you partner with her. So I want my audience to be able to get to know you today, but more importantly, if they're interested in writing, they would come to you like I did and feel very comfortable learning that process through you. So that's my little layup to you. I'm excited to hear what your process is. So as we start, why don't you just tell my audience a little bit about you and how you got started in this modality? Welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I am an intuitive writing coach and a story magician. And I'll tell you, I used to say story magician in this light, fun, joking way. What could I get printed on a business card that would be a little rebellious, a little against the rules, because you're supposed to have an official title. And the funny thing is that we sometimes speak it and then we see the real truth of it. I feel I am a story magician in the sense that my magic and really my mission coming here in this lifetime is to help other people see their stories so beautifully as really the most amazing lives that they could possibly be living. So I work with people who are writing books. I work with business owners who are writing content, and I help them see themselves through my eyes and through the lens of, but look at that choice you made, right? Life hit you with this, and then look at the choice you made. Look at the transformation you went through. So the story magician part of me, that's just what they gave me when I came to this life, that ability to quickly see the pieces of somebody's story and the transformation that really shows how powerful they are and how beautiful their story has been when they may be seeing only the pain or sometimes just, oh, there's nothing special about me.
Right.
So
I love the
yeah.
idea you said content, and I didn't know that. So I understand the whole writing piece because we've been part of a project together, and people need help navigating that process. But take me to a little sidebar to the content aspect. Are you talking about like business owners who don't know how to write their website and don't know the 30-second elevator pitch and how to say their story in a concise way. Because
Yeah.
is that what you mean by that piece of it?
I do mean marketing content. And what I really specialize in is helping transformational coaches write long form, I call it conscious content for social media and for their email so that they are creating true rapport, trust, relationship, and helping people feel empowered to make the decision to work with them and get the full transformation. And this is where being an intuitive writing coach really comes in. I use intuition in all of the ways I help people with writing. But what I came to discover very accidentally, I never set out to be right. So when we are our work, we are not walking around consciously aware of all of the pieces of it. So what I'm really helping them to do is, I would say it's not so much about, is it so much and they have to get smaller, or is it smaller and they have to get bigger? It's seeing all of a sudden the depth, seeing the layers, seeing that what's obvious to them as the expert is not at all obvious to the people they help and serve. So maybe, the moment in The Wizard of Oz where Dorothy lands in Oz and we're in bright Technicolor.
Yes.
It's more like that.
Got it.
It's more like that.
What a great metaphor. Woohoo. Yeah. So let's go back in time a little bit. How did you said I'm not trained in that or certified. Take me to how you got started in this, your backdrop story, and how this passion for yourself. Did you write your own book and then you realized there was a hole in other people? Take me to your backdrop story of creating this modality for others.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it starts with my own struggle. So I'm a lifelong writer. I have always loved writing. I've always been encouraged in writing. And when I was in college, I studied philosophy and I was grappling with big ideas and I was really struggling to write. And it was because I didn't have a writing process that worked for me. Now that's what I know now. At the time, it was an identity crisis, truly, because I had always been a writer. And now here I was unable to complete things, writing myself in circles. And I really thought, if I'm not a writer, who am I?
Got it.
And at the time, not coincidentally, I was drawn to do this intensive coursework in language remediation. And I was learning how to teach reading and spelling and writing to kids with severe learning disabilities. Well, that was the click. That was the thing I needed to understand that all of our brains are wired differently, that we all learn differently, that the way we relate to language is vastly different, and that the best thing we can give ourselves is a process that works for us, that feels intuitively good, that honors our creative process and says, oh, I've got this idea. Here's how I can take that idea all the way through to a finished piece of writing and go through all of the stages. So I ended up creating exactly what I wished I had had. And the first iteration of my business was working one-on-one with students, some who had learning disabilities, others who were, going along fine, but weren't getting that opportunity to really share their voices. The way we teach writing in school is the way we teach math. Everybody's going to do it this way. Here's if it's, you get a check mark if it's good. And we're not really honoring people's voices. So I wanted to give whoever was wanting it, whether it was because they were really struggling or they just wanted to explore their voice and enjoy writing and storytelling more, I wanted to give them the opportunity to become self-aware. What is my process? What works for me? How can I let my ideas flow? And that's been my whole career's work.
So let's go back to that. When we were doing this whole process with her, and I had done an interview with her, and then she told me about this book, and then you were my first step. So I was feeling like everybody out there. I just signed up. Money exchanged hands. I've always wanted to do this. I'm going to do the multi-authored thing because it was less overwhelming, to start off with, which is a good idea if someone's opening up that door to that process. And I was completely overwhelmed, didn't know where to start, worrying about my grammar, worrying about the storyline. And then I sat down and you're partnered up with her and we had like a coaching session online. And I watched your video. You went live, I watched the replay, I can't remember. I took copious notes from which you gave everybody, okay? You had the whole thing to write up and the rest of it because you said you have this process. From that, it was like, I can do this. So to your point in saying it wasn't there for you and it's there now, you have this process in place. Go back to the intuitive side too. Because you're working one-on-one with people, you've got the process that works, left brain, right brain for most people, but then because you're intuitive, you must take them through. Now we have to find out the way they write and how they think and stuff. So that's where more of the coaching comes in. Am I right to say that?
Absolutely. And a lot of it is how we relate to writing. So just as recently as this morning, I was, privately chatting with a client, and the way she talked about taking her next steps gave me insight like, oh, okay, the way she's relating to it isn't helping her. So I wrote back with okay, practically speaking, let's take this next step. And I said, and here's an invitation to reframe. What if instead of talking about it, thinking about it this way, try on this way of thinking about it, this way of relating to it. How does that feel? And immediately I get back as like all caps, thank you.
Yeah.
So yes, it's about adapting the writing process to them. I ask my clients to track what's working for them and, track their challenges and to keep me in the loop. So I can say, what about this? Let's try this. I want to just give them a lot of options so they can try and hold on to what works for them and disregard what there's no one right way to write. There's only what works for you.
From a business standpoint, do you work with other publishing companies like Sanctuary Publishing, or are you one-on-one with Annette Maria, or take me to that, or are you open to other people?
So my partnership with Annette Maria just came up in this beautiful organic way where we met actually through like a moon circle. And then she reached out and said, you're a writing coach. I'm doing this multi-author book. What would you think about helping my authors? And I said, absolutely. So, and we now run a writing retreat together, the Sacred Stories Writing Retreat. And we found it's just a beautiful balance of our energies, and the way that we work together really, really flows. If I were to talk about it as wherever I'm working with people on business content, I really look at three key pieces.
Okay.
One is the one-to-one interaction, and how can we dive deeper into your audience, have you feel connected with them, like activate your goddess energy as you're writing, and find that unique process for you. And then trainings so that I can say, hey, here are principles, here are the concepts, here are the big ideas that might have just kind of gone by you. I don't want to assume that everybody has learned these things about writing and content creation and copywriting. And I want to share my knowledge so that business owners can use what works and they don't have to reinvent the wheel. And then I give them the one-on-one reviews where they're writing copy and content. So it might be for their website, it might be a social media post, maybe a script for a video they're going to do. And I'm able to look at it and go, oh, right here, you've got this really, really juicy thing happening and it's going by in a flash. What would it be like if you broke this up into a couple of sentences and really let people absorb the magic of what you're saying? Or, hey, you've got this headline right here, and I bet it would pop even more if you focused on this, or if you take this idea you've got kind of that goes by in a flash down here and bring it up and put that as the headline. So for me, it's then they're getting the best of the leaning into their intuition, connecting with their clients, concepts and principles that work so they don't have to reinvent it themselves, and then how to adapt those concepts and principles in their writing, where I'm looking at it directly and going, this is working really well. Keep doing this. Let's try more of this over here. And often I'll tell you, probably the most common piece of feedback I give is, you have got so many amazing ideas. This is really 2 posts, or it's 3 posts.
Got it.
Which sometimes happens in the trainings for the book authors as well. Like, whoa, that's so juicy. And I think that's for when you write the whole book. I don't think that needs to be in this chapter, right? So helping people see when they've got more than they need. Yeah, the majority of my work is guiding people who are creating content for social media and for email.
Got it.
I absolutely welcome clients I work with to, take a look at their website as well. And then through the writing retreat, the Sacred Storytellers Retreat, and through working with Sanctuary Publishing, I'm supporting people who are writing books that will be, produced digitally and in print.
Got it.
So I'll say this, the reason I say I welcome clients to get help with their website, but that's not what my focus is on, is because there are two important reasons. One is that the digital world has just shifted where more people are spending more time on social media. And so it's the thriving neighborhood. That's where the networking event is happening, right?
Yes.
So we may as well be there. There is a lot of connection happening there. There's a two-way conversation when somebody's coming to your website. Usually it's just you being there and them seeing who you are. So there is a very practical reason where I put the focus on social media and email over website. And here's the mindset reason. It is for 99% of clients I work with, and actually just my peers and colleagues that I talk to, it is very intimidating, I'll say, to think about creating our website, because we have this idea that this is my one chance and I've got to get it right. And it's got to, even though you can change your website, we relate to it as the permanent thing I have to write. So it's got to be good.
But to your point, you've got to move with the wave of the times and kind of keep up with it all. And for people listening, it's like, how do you pick which one? How do you know where your focus should go? So from an expert standpoint and helping people make the decision, what is your mindset on that right now? Where do you?
Oh, I have exactly the
know.
opposite answer that you might expect, because what I tell people is show up where you feel lit up. So yes, you need to be where your audience is. If you are adamant that you love hanging out on TikTok and the people you're serving are not on TikTok, or they're not going to TikTok for what you're providing, there's going to be a mismatch. So it's not, if this is not about being stubborn and digging in and saying, I'm going to do it my way and I don't care what anybody else thinks. So know where your people are, right? But if you don't enjoy showing up on the platform, think of the energy you're bringing. And maybe it's not even about not enjoying the platform. There are some business owners I know who go, oh my gosh, another platform? I haven't even mastered an Instagram reel and now I'm supposed to do TikTok. Oh my goodness. And it's this heavy weight because they're being told you gotta show up on every platform. You gotta be visible on any platform. I don't believe in gotta. It's your business. And I work with people who have a really great inner guidance system. They know what is true for them. So I don't use gotta. What I do suggest is show up where you feel lit up. Show up where, think about if you're going to go to networking events, right? Because we could think of social media that way. And there's the one networking event where they always have the air conditioner on too high. There are so many people that you feel like you can never make a connection, and they serve a really lousy lunch. Like, do you enjoy showing up there? Are you in your best light and energy? Right? So show up where you glow.
So I love that. Let me mirror that and say for the audience too, another great tip, since we're educating people today on this and we're both in two different experiences of it. Annette Maria and I just did this event together called the Go Giver event. And if you've ever read the book, The Go Giver, it's all about not what you have, what you're trying to get, it's what you have to offer. And so back to the being lit up, everything I do for creating content is fun. So even when I'm doing our editing for this video, I enjoy that process. YouTube is a hard platform to get into because it's just so and all, there's so much back office to it. So not to go into that aspect of it, but what I want to say is that when you feel like you have value, and you do have value, there's your content. And so what you're saying is, if you're writing it and here's somebody who's lit up and has something that can be sold, because sales and marketing are the same energy, right? You're giving it a name, you're giving it a description, and now you're just helping them share what their value is back out to the world, and they're doing it consistently and they're enjoying doing it. They're in the right place. Is that what you just said? There's not one on Instagram and you should be doing that on TikTok, and that's SEO stuff, and we're not there today. We're not having that discussion. Is that what you're saying?
I want to pick out a couple of strands in what you said. One is, yes, where you feel lit up, that's where you're going to show up with your best energy, and delegate. Maybe you love doing videos and you want to be on YouTube and the editing is overwhelming, or the making the graphics. You don't have to do all of the pieces, right? Maybe you find your rhythm writing long form, so Facebook is a better platform for you, and Instagram feels like a struggle, whatever it is. So, go with the energy that's there. In terms of, you were talking about value to bring and value to share. Here's what I want to remind all of your audience of, because they are people with these deep spiritual gifts. We're living in the information age, right? And what that means is information is so readily available, it's actually not of value for most of us anymore. And as an example, I invite you to think about your email inbox. Each of those emails is a piece of information, maybe something you really were excited to learn. You signed up, you went, yes, I'd love to learn how to do that. Oh my gosh, yes, please teach me about how to grow a great garden, right? And you sign up for it. And then as the information comes in, it hits you like weight, and you go, oh, one more thing I've got to do. One more thing I've got to take care of. So what I teach when I teach people about conscious content is the shift we can really, the best service we can do ourselves as content creators is to shift our thinking around value to seeing that the most valuable thing in the world right now is not information, it is connection. It is reflection. It is helping people feel seen and heard. And guess what? When people feel seen and heard, they feel sold on what you are offering them, because they've got this deep connection. And I actually run a workshop called RIP Marketing, which is about how the old way of marketing is over. I mean, you're still going to see it in car commercials. We're still going to see people are trying to sell us cars, cosmetics, high ticket items out of fear, out of scarcity, right? If I don't have that mascara, my parents will never approve of me and I'll die alone and poor, right? That's the old way, which many people take to mean, I've got to bully you and tell you, even though you said you don't have time or you don't have money, I've got to show you, oh no, yes, you do. And if you don't invest in this, then here's how your life's going to fall apart. Conscious content, the way I'm teaching people to write, is they allow people's objections to actually come to the surface. And in the content, they leave people space emotionally to
lean in,
transition into possibility and hope.
I love it. So good. So, hey, let's dive into, before we wrap up, because we're doing such a great job. I want to make sure we spend a good amount of time talking about what most people who are watching this video today, I think, are going to be interested in, which is, I have a book idea. I don't know where to start. And I've just signed up with somebody to publish, and you're going to work with me to help me write my story, right? So take me through the basic thing that you can do to people to like you did for me in opening up the door. What are some of the first things that you walk people through when they're getting ready to write their own story, or they're getting ready to be published? Take us there, because you did that for me so well, and I want to share an aspect of that with others.
Are you willing to be our guinea pig? Can we take you through the process? Okay, so then the first thing I want to ask you to do is just plant your feet on the ground.
Absolutely. Let's do this.
And let's take 3 deep breaths together. And on your next very deep inhale, just breathe in energy from Mother Earth. Feel this energy from Mama Earth just supporting you, holding you, and allowing you to be exactly as you are in this moment. There's nothing you need to do. Mama Earth has you, and she loves holding you. Feel how supported you are. And on your next very deep inhale energy from Father Sky. Feel this energy permeating in through your crown, going through your whole body. This is the energy of possibility. This is the energy of potential. This is the energy of your limitless desires coming into view. And allow this earth energy and this sky energy to mingle within you. Maybe you feel it in a particular place in your body. Where these two energies meet, they create a vortex. And this vortex is all of the power, all of the energy you need to create whatever you want. So just take a couple deep breaths into this vortex. Feel how you are fully supported wherever you are and able to grow. From this energized place, invite your creativity to come out and play. We're going to invite your creativity to whisper to you now. What is that one big wish you have for your readers? What is it that you are so longing to help them see, feel, be, do, or have? What would thrill and delight you if they understood it and could experience it themselves, and just listen for whatever comes through?
It's screaming. It's that they will see their own magnificence and they're not broken, they don't need to be healed, they're not struggling, they're not uninformed, they're not uninspired, that all of that is just totally like right in front of them. So the message of my content is that they can be inspired by what I'm putting in front of them to know that about themselves. So that is it.
Beautiful.
Drives me
So
every day.
that's where people can start. And then from there, you just ask follow-up questions. So I could ask you the follow-up question: what does it look like in somebody's daily life when she feels this way, feels unafraid?
Yeah. I love it. And so you don't do in your process, you're not the editor, you're not the professional editor who's looking at that's another aspect of this process that I went through with Annette Maria, right? So that's not, again, your jam too, right? So let's do this. Let's wrap up in the sense that when you knew I was going to interview you today, and I'm so grateful that I feel like I've made a new friend, right? That we've been able to have this conversation, open up the door to other people to say, if they're on the fence in any way and need any assistance, where do we go to find you? Is there a place that we can go and get a sample? Is there a Facebook group that we can belong to? And what's your next project? I know you're doing something with Annette Maria, so take us there before we wrap up. And I want to make sure that we've done what you intended to do today on this interview.
Absolutely. I would invite people to come and join my free Facebook group, Write and Flow with Megan Barnhard.
Yeah.
And I go live and answer questions that people have. We do energy activations. I share these principles. And it's a community to find other people who are writing as well. Sometimes writing can feel lonely, and just connecting with other people who are doing it is a huge burst of energy for the people who join.
Well, I'll overlay your beautiful slide right here as you're saying that, so people, and I'll put the link below so people can find it with a tap of the description. So thank you for that. And then what's your thing coming up with Annette Maria? You're doing a writing retreat somewhere.
Yes, the second year of Sacred Storytellers Writing Retreat is coming up September 15th through 21st in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Georgia. And this is for people who feel called to write their soul book. And it's going to be practical writing support, energetic support, and an opportunity to step away from the demands of your daily life and truly be with your creativity and create deliciously with her. And the other thing that I have coming up, that's a personal project, is I'm working on a writing oracle deck. And that does not yet have a release date, but it is a passion project of mine, and I cannot wait to share it with you.
Definitely let me know, because I've got one of my other women that is in my group did some cards. I've been using them in my sessions, and I'm telling you, at the end of every session, we pull a card, and it's like, it's right. Everything that was coming up in the reading is in the card. So I love collecting that. So thank you. Hey, thank you so much. We're going to slide into the beautiful part. Do you know what's coming up? Do you have any idea?
Is it rapid fire questions?
It's rapid fire, right? We're going to have fun. Thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, thank you
really
so much.
Looking forward to sharing your audience and my audience together and getting to know each other. And so everybody, all her media links are absolutely in the description. And it's a great time to be putting any questions below too. We will be looking at this and following up. So if that's you, please know that. So here's my quick questions as we slide into rapid fire. What is your favorite movie?
Moulin Rouge.
Ooh, fancy. Well, if you were going to change the world today, what does the world need in order to be changed?
Oh, more people speaking truthfully from their hearts.
Love that. Throat chakra people. Everybody has pet peeves. What is your pet peeve that you have?
When we mistake our own experience for the only way that works and then tell people that's what they have to do.
What is a personal quality that you absolutely love about yourself?
My creativity and joy in bringing new ideas from the ethers into the 3D realm.
I love that. And then the last question, and I get to say thank you. What are you doing when you're absolutely experiencing joy?
Oftentimes it's writing, and I don't feel that I'm writing. I look up sometimes and go, thank you.
Yes.
And I just feel absolutely in flow.
Well, I will tell you, as a content creator and watching a content creator and talking to you today, you're beautiful, because when I first met you, you're one of those people that is seen online and you just like you right away. So if that's who you are and that's the way, then you're doing a great job of portraying what you're intending, because I felt it, see it, know it, understand it, and was definitely drawn to this interview today because of that. So keep up the good work.
I'm so glad to hear it. Thank you.
And we will see more of you out there in the beautiful world of content, right, people?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for watching. See you next video.